I do it to defy my mind. Everything in me is screaming, don't do it. The mind is a worrywart. You've got to build that muscle, defying your mind over and over again.
Welcome to the Middle-Aged and Miserable podcast.
Yes, and please feel free to subscribe to us so you never miss another episode. And if you feel inclined, please leave us a nicely worded review so that we can reach more people with this content.
Indeed.
So today we are going to be talking about 12 simple everyday life hacks that we do, and they are designed to help you level up your mindset, reduce stress, and make you happier in life.
Yeah. And stay to the end because we've got an absolute gem right at the end.
There's a killer one at the end, isn't there?
Yeah. They're all killers, but this one's particularly good.
Yeah. Okay, number one. Here's some ways to eliminate stress and frustration, frustrating situations. I get frustrated sometimes and it causes stress. One of my things that I can't deal with is being stuck behind slow people at work. There's a lot of corridors where I work.
Slow walking people.
Slow walking people. I don't know why. It's something that irritates me. But I've started my own little hack with this. And whenever it happens now, I've created a sort of a subconscious routine where I'll start thinking about the people that I hold dear to me in my life while I'm stuck. And
while you're waiting,
while I'm walking painfully slowly, I'm going through each person in my mind.
That's nice. That.
And it's turned a really big negative for me into a positive.
That's good. So you look for people that are really slow to walk.
No, I do not. I did not say that. So that's something that I've just come up with just because I was so frustrated.
I got another thing that you get wound up about that I've got a hack for me of how I can kind of reframe this. So I know you get really wound up when people kind of stop you and want to talk to you. We've been out walking the dog, remember, in the past, where there's this guy in the neighborhood who really, really wants to talk, and he goes on and on for like 10 minutes about the most inane things, and you get really wound up about that. But I could quite easily get wound up by it, but I actually think to myself that I'm doing this guy a favor. I'm actually, to him, that's how I think about it. To him, this means so much to him because he's so passionately talking that it means a lot to him. And I'm like, I'm going to give him this moment of my time. I'm going to be charitable. I'm going to let him talk, and then I'm just going to listen to him and then be nice and polite. And I come away with that thinking I've just helped him. It works.
Yeah, I admire,
could do it that way.
I admire that you can do that. That's a good one. What about traffic? I don't get as wound up in traffic as you. You get wound up in traffic.
I've got a hack for that now. I used to get a little bit of road rage, and because we're all the same, aren't we? Everybody else can't drive except us, right? So that's how we all think. But for me now, I discovered Audible a few years ago, which completely transformed my commute. So for me, this is a hack that on my commute now, I listen to a book in the morning. And at night, when the traffic's way, way worse, it usually takes me twice as long. And I'm not desperate to go home now. I'm not desperate to find the quickest route home. I'm just sat in my lane on the freeway. Sometimes, because I love the book so much, sometimes I'll seek out the slowest lane and just sit there and just trundle along with the traffic. And it's completely eliminated road rage because now I don't care. I'm just listening to my book, and I'm happier for it now, and I'm learning something.
Yeah, I like that. Reducing the stress and learning. Yeah, I do that with French. We both speak French. I listen to a French podcast sometimes in the car. I don't understand all of it, but it helps me.
So you're learning,
hear it
as you're in the car. You two birds with one stone.
All right, another hack. What have you got?
This is one that I've got recent experience in, and I think we do this. The fitter we've become now with the workout group that we're in, F3, the more relevant this becomes for us. Do something hard.
Do something hard.
It's not so much of a hack; it's more of a means by which we can simply improve our mindset. And I just come off 2 weeks ago. I did this ludicrously hard endurance event that was an overnight. They call it an overnight ruck. So you're carrying weight, and then we're carrying cinder blocks and other crazy stuff.
All night,
14 hours overnight. So you lose a night's sleep. We did like 6 workouts in the middle of this. We walked with weight about 25 miles total. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But I wasn't physically recovered from that a few days later. I look back at that now, and it's recent. I look back at that now with a huge sense of pride and accomplishment in myself that I did something that most people not only couldn't do, but wouldn't even do either, really. And you feel really good about it.
In your mid-50s as well, should be said.
Yeah. I feel good about that.
I got one. I do cold showers, and it sucks. It's horrible, but I do it.
So why do you do that? What do you get out of that?
I do it to defy my mind. I do it because everything in me is screaming, "Don't do it," and that's why I do it. I want to build that muscle. That I think we all just give into our minds too much.
Yeah.
The mind is a worry wart. It will worry about everything. It will tell you to do nothing. It just wants to keep you safe. Yeah. And I think you've got to build that muscle. Being uncomfortable, and if you want to become successful, you've got to be uncomfortable, and all of that comes from defying your mind over and over again. So I do cold showers for that reason, and also I feel great afterwards.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
Apparently there are huge benefits, health benefits from cold showers, but I do it just for the mindset thing, really.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah. Okay. Hack 3. Okay. I got some a hack of reducing stress at work. I get stressed at work, and I found myself sometimes, when you've got loads to do and you've got an enormous to-do list, and then you get up, you go to the restroom or something, and then you sort of storming to the restroom with all of these things swimming around your mind. You're walking fast, and I was doing this a while ago, and I just thought, why am I rushing to the restroom? Like I suddenly...
You mean the toilet?
Sorry, to the toilet. Yeah, I wasn't going there to rest. So there was no bath in there either.
No.
The bathroom, there's no bath. So I just suddenly thought, why am I rushing? Why am I tense? And I just made that walk very, very slow. And I started just relaxing my shoulders and thinking about what I'm grateful for. What have I got in my life? Financially, materialistically, loved ones. What have I got? And it transformed that stressful walk where I was just going through the things I had to do and worrying and just turning it into a relaxing thing.
And it wouldn't have changed anything anyway.
No.
If you were 30 seconds faster getting back to your desk, or a minute faster getting back to your desk because you sprinted up the corridor, nothing would have changed. You wouldn't have done anything except you just got back out of breath and stressed out.
Yeah, so now I treat those walks as a reset.
I remember there was a guy in my office that would literally run up the corridors. I don't know where he was actually going. He was going from his desk to another meeting, or running from meeting to meeting, or I don't think he was quite running to the bathroom or anything like that, but he would do this all the time. And he did it right up until his retirement, and he retired. But he was constantly wound up, constantly stressed out. And I'm thinking, is it going to make a difference?
Yeah,
and it probably wasn't.
I think you need these little islands, a little bit of respite.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
if you're under a lot of stress.
Speaking of being calm,
I
got a good one.
Oh yeah,
meditation.
Okay, meditation.
This is something that I've been doing now for probably 10 years, and I still don't know if I'm doing it right, but it feels good.
Let's face it, it's not easy, is it?
You'd think that sitting down quietly on your own and not falling asleep, but sitting down and being calm would be easy, but it's really not, because your mind gets so distracted so easily. And I'll do it in work sometimes. I'll find a conference. It's usually first thing in the morning when it's really quiet, and I like to start the day with a bit of mindfulness, and I'll spend like 10, 15 minutes on my own, just like calm breathing. And I find my muscles just completely relaxing. So for me, it works. For me, and I think over the long term, it's made me a lot more chill, maybe, over the years, and easy to kind of detach. And when you feel like you're getting stressed out, you can just take these moments of 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and just like relax. I think it has a lot of good benefits. I'm sure there's so much more material out there of the benefits of meditation. But for me, it's just like a nice moment of calm that I look forward to every morning.
Yeah, I try it. I do it quite a bit. I put noise cancelling headphones on, and I like putting on noises of streams or water or birds or something, and I set a timer, and then I just do not move.
Yeah.
And I find it's more. I look at meditation as focusing on one thing. Most meditation is focusing on your breath. I like focusing on the streams or whatever I've got in my ears. And I think it's channeling focus. I think it's almost like a discipline of channeling focus. And I think that in itself helps over a lot of other things in life. If you can just zone in on something and not be, because we're just bombarded with info now, aren't we? And we're all over the place. Yeah. So I think it's good for focus as well. So that's why I do it.
I've also found that in times when I'm completely calm and in meditation as well, I've found that ideas come to me. I've had complicated problems to solve with both in work and with some of our businesses as well that we're trying to, and you come up with these really innovative ideas that I wouldn't have otherwise come up with because your mind is so busy doing anything else. Once you can remove all of those distractions and clear your mind, ideas just pop up.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
Another benefit. Mm-hmm. All right. I got life hack number 5.
Go on then. Is that 5 already?
Yeah. So whenever you got the opportunity, you should do something. If you're going to remember it for the rest of your life, you should do it. Oh, and wow. So this might sound a bit vague, but this happened to me recently. I did a workout. It was on a Thursday night. It was really hard. And then someone said, hey, we're doing another workout in the morning. I had to be at work, by the way, and I had a load of other stuff to do on our businesses. They said the next morning, if you come to this other workout, which is another workout on top of the workout I just did, afterwards we're going to climb the Space Needle stairs 3 times.
And that's the Space Needle for those of people that don't live in Seattle. It's like the Eiffel Tower of Seattle, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It was for 9/11. It was to commemorate. I think it's 2.6 times. If you go up the Space Needle stairs 2.6 times, it's the same height as the Twin Towers. So it was to commemorate the firefighters on that day. Mm-hmm. And I've always wanted to. I've lived there 20 years. I've looked at that thing. I've never climbed it. Mm-hmm. Never even had access to it. So I didn't want to do it because I just worked out really hard. I'd have to do another workout in the morning. I'd have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. Did not want to do any of that, but I really wanted to climb those stairs, and I just did it. I moved my work plans. I moved all my personal work out of the way, and I did it. And I will never forget that. Every time I look at that thing now, I remember it. So it was an opportunity to do something I would always remember, and I'm really glad I did it.
And you will have forgotten the inconvenience of you having to shift things around in your day immediately. You'll have forgotten, arguably, how hard it was. You just remember the fact that you feel so proud of doing something like that, and you'll never forget it.
Yeah.
The good things about it.
What have you done that was inconvenient, but you'll always remember it?
Again, I'll go back to that endurance event that I just did, and I've done them before, and we've done them in the past as well. You get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and do something stupidly hard. And in fact, we have a nickname for this. It's called a CSUP, which stands for completely stupid and utterly pointless.
They are stupid and pointless.
But they're not pointless. They're not. They have a point in that you've done something so inconceivably difficult, you will never forget it for the rest of your life, and you will have this huge sense of accomplishment and pride about yourself. And that's another one of those things.
I did one that you weren't involved with, and I did it with, 12 other people. It was my idea. Bear crawled 1 mile. A bear crawl is on all fours. It's kind of tough, and we did that for a mile.
There's another one.
In 45 minutes.
I've jumped out of a plane. With a parachute, with actually a guy attached to me who had a parachute. I didn't actually do anything, but it was terrifying.
Yeah.
No, the run up to it was terrifying, like the week before. And I didn't want to do it. And I wasn't that mindful in those days when I actually did this. But looking back, it was something that I will never, ever forget. And it was exhilarating.
Yeah. And a lot of these things, when you do something that you're going to remember for the rest of your life, a lot of these things make you proud of yourself. And, not only do you have a good memory that you're going to remember forever, but when you do remember it, you recall that pride, and it gives you an inner boost. It gives you a boost.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of giving yourself a boost, I got another one.
Go on.
Help somebody. Now, I've got an example of something that quite spontaneously came to me. I was we were off away for the weekend, and I was in the checkout of a supermarket. And this town wasn't exactly a very affluent town, that we were in because we'd kind of been on a bit of a road trip, and we stopped in this town. And I went at the checkout, and there was an old lady in front of us who, I'm not being judgmental at all, but she looked like she was hard up, and she looked she had a sparse number of groceries on the checkout, and she was talking to the checkout lady about how this one's on sale, don't forget. And I got the impression I could help her. And I said to my daughter who was with me at the time, just wait there a minute, I'm going to talk to this lady. And I said, it would be my pleasure to buy your groceries today. And it wasn't condescending at all. I genuinely wanted to help her. And And she protested a little bit and nicely said, "Oh no, I can't. You don't want to do that." No, honestly, it would really make me happy if let me help you. Let me do this for you. And she started crying. She was so moved, and it really moved me. And I still remember that feeling. In fact, as I'm talking right now, it's lifting me up. And I turned around, and my daughter was in tears as well when she saw her reaction. And those moments, it's so. When you help somebody genuinely, and you genuinely get that impression that they really appreciate that help, it's so incredibly moving, and you feel great about it. And it's another thing that I'll never forget.
Yeah, and don't forget, that's the good example you're setting your kids as well.
Yeah,
when you did that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to come up with one?
Go on, man.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Text someone. If you're thinking of someone fondly, immediately text them. Like the amount of times I've thought of people and I haven't texted them, but I've got into the habit of whenever I'm thinking of someone and I'm thinking, you know what, that was, that person did this for me, or I really appreciate this about this person. I just text them and say, hey, I just want to tell you something. Like, I really appreciate blank.
That's really good, that.
Yeah, and I've just got into this habit. So, because we often think about it, but we don't act on it.
Yeah.
Likewise, if you think someone's done a good job, act on it immediately. I've been doing this at work, and I do it in our business. Just give credit. If you think someone's done a good job, verbalize it.
Yeah, we're always quick to criticize, aren't we? Generally, I've started doing this in work as well. If I see somebody's done a really good job, like they've hosted a meeting and they're fairly new to the business or whatever it is, and if they've done a good job, I'll go take them to one side and say that was a really, really impressive display. That was really, you should be proud of yourself. You should be really good, and it lifts them up. And nobody did that with me when I was younger.
No,
as well.
But when people do it to you, it feels great, doesn't it?
It does feel good. I got one.
Go on.
So we should all have to-do lists, whether they're in our minds or not, but we'll come to that in a minute. Do something on your to-do list now if it takes less than a couple of minutes to do, because it gets it off your to-do list.
Yeah, this is from Getting Things Done by Dave Allen.
Yeah, that's it. That's where it goes. Yeah. And we both do this, actually. And I still
live by it.
Yeah,
I definitely live by it.
Yeah, I still remember that because we have the to-do list sometimes feels like it's growing quicker than it's diminishing. And those often are little things that you could just check off like that. And it feels good like that. If it takes a couple of minutes, when I say a couple of minutes, for me, it's about less than 4 or 5 minutes or so, because things can take a little while. But it feels good to check off a box, actually. Yeah. And it reduces stress because it's off your mind. And also, while I'm on the subject of to-do lists, have a to-do list.
Yeah, there you go.
Write things down, or whether it's on a piece of paper or in an application on your computer or whatever. But once it's written down, it's not in your head.
Which in itself is stress, to have things in your head. There's something about relieving stress when it's written somewhere else, isn't there?
Definitely. How many is that we've got now?
That was 8. So 9.
All right.
Have a conversation with a loved one. And this has to go a specific way. So you ask them how they are, and they're going to say they're fine. And then you ask them how they really are. And then the most important bit, you're going to listen. You're going to look them in the eye and you're going to listen. You're not going to speak. You're just going to listen to them. You're not going to try and fix an issue. You're just going to listen.
And you're really good at that, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. And the whole object of this is to give them your time. This isn't about what can you tell them about what you've done. This is about them. This is about you giving them your time. This is about you serving them. It's not about you. It's all about them. And ironically, they're going to think you're a great conversationalist if you do this.
Even if you don't say anything,
because they're going to feel at home. They're going to feel able to talk, and you're just going to end up being closer to people if you do that. If you do this with your loved ones, you'll become closer to them, and they will get the crucial message that you're willing to give them your time. And you're just going to improve that. You'll feel good that you improved that relationship, and you're going to feel good that you improved, gave something to someone.
Yeah, that's
your
really
time.
good. That is really good. Yeah, and you are good at that.
Cheers.
Number 10. I've got one.
Go on in.
Steal a moment of calm by resisting the urge to pick up your phone.
But surely no one can resist the urge to pick up the phone, Pat.
We all have that, especially we've got the internet in our pockets now, and video cameras and phones, etc. So having those moments where you've got that urge, like for example, for me, I'll, when you're in a doctor's waiting room or you're in a waiting room for whatever it is, it happened to me just the other day actually, and there's other people in the waiting room and you don't want to make eye contact, and there's those little awkward moments of silence, and you think, I'm going to hide behind my phone. I'm going to pretend to be busy and do something on my phone. And I have those urges as well to do that, but I don't do that anymore. I'll just stop and I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to have that. It's not quite meditation, but I'm going to focus on something in the distance. I'm trying not to look too weird when I'm doing this, but I'm just going to just zone out and completely just focus on my breath and just calmly relax. And it doesn't happen very long. It could be like 5 minutes, something like that. But I feel good about that.
You don't see people doing that though, do you? It's like if you go past any bus stop, everybody's on their phone, aren't they?
On a subway or on a train or on a bus, everybody is on their phone.
Yeah, sometimes on purpose. I won't do that. I'll just sit there and I'll just look out the window, or just I don't know, concentrate on my breathing or something, just to try and avoid that.
I think there's a lot of in society. I won't get into the depths of this, but there's a lot of people do hide behind social interaction and hide behind their phone because they just don't want to deal with other people. It's just a way to hide in public, really. This is sad now.
Yeah. All right. So that was number 10. Number 11, seems we're talking about improving your mindset and life hacks. So self-talk, it's important to pay attention to your self-talk and maybe correct a couple of things. I find myself saying, I have no time. Like, because I truly, sometimes I've got so much to do.
I feel like
but I'm trying to, rewrite that in my head and say to myself, instead of saying I have no time, I am committed to becoming more efficient with my time. I don't want to constantly say I've got no time, because it will become my reality and I won't have any time.
Yeah.
It's a classic one. It's said a lot, like saying I have to. Oh, I have to do this, or you can change that by saying I get to. I have to go and pick the kids up, but really you get to go and pick your kids up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You've got kids for a start, and they're healthy and they're safe. Stop saying I'm stupid. Instead, say I did something stupid. Everyone can do something stupid, but it's quite damaging to constantly say to yourself, I'm stupid, I'm stupid.
Yeah, it'll create a belief on it.
Yeah, exactly. It will validate a belief, and self-talk. You've got to be careful with self-talk. You've really got to correct yourself, because it can be damaging, because there's someone very important listening. You.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So can we wrap it up with like the best one?
Go on.
Of the lot.
Go on.
This is huge, and this is something that we've got. We should be really proud of the hack that we've got for this. It's kind of a bit woo-woo if you're not familiar with it. Do some hypnosis.
Yeah.
And it's very, very similar to guided meditation, if you like. But I do it. It's at a time when I feel that my mind, and I think this is a common thing, your mind is like open to suggestion. It's either when you go to sleep at night or when you're just waking up in the morning. And I'll do it usually when I'm waking up in the morning, and I'll do like affirmations or even visualizations of the things that I'm aiming for in life and the things I want to affirm to myself. I'll do that at those times in the morning. But also, this is the key thing that we've done. We've created ourselves, and we do this, hypnosis tracks ourselves, where we'll hypnotize ourselves to sleep at night with our own voices.
Yeah, so to give some background and context, what you're doing here is you're trying to remove limiting beliefs or instill beliefs into your unconscious mind. And that's what hypnosis does. Hypnosis puts you into a trance, not dance like Michael Jackson trance, stage hypnosis, but the kind of trance when you're driving to work and you get to work and you can't remember driving into work because you were sort of in this trance state, or when you're in the shower and the drone of the water, you suddenly sort of forget about time.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing when your subconscious mind is open to suggestion. And you can use affirmations in that time to using a process called autosuggestion to make you believe that you can do things in life and achieve success. And it goes into your unconscious mind, and consequently you can attract it to yourself.
Yeah. I love that. There's a whole big subject on that.
And we're going to do episodes on hypnosis, that's for sure. Yeah. But that's a key thing, because for the longest time, I had hypnosis from somebody else that someone else did for me, or I'd listened to other ones. And I remember first we started recording our own, didn't we?
Yeah.
You recorded yours, I recorded mine. And it was weird at first. I thought, do I really want to hear my own voice? But when you actually do it, it is like we're talking to ourselves in our head all the time.
I know. It is
and
like
it becomes
that. Yeah.
amazingly natural to hear your voice giving you suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's quite relaxing to go to sleep with as well.
It is actually, yeah.
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 So we'll do plenty more stuff on hypnosis and maybe add some in the channel too.
I think we'll put some links in the show notes as well of some hypnosis videos that we have on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's summarize, Pat.
Okay.
What did we talk about? What were the hacks we talked about?
So we eliminate frustrating situations. For me, that was sitting in traffic, getting road rage, audible, completely transformed. It doesn't have to be audible.
Now,
it could be a podcast.
Now you sit in traffic on purpose.
Yeah. What a hack that was. It was transformational, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do something hard. That was another one we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about reducing stress at work. Stop carrying stress when you're walking around. We talked about meditating.
Yeah. You talked about how to you do something that you will never forget for the rest of your life.
If you get the chance, you should do it.
Yeah.
Always.
Right, yeah. And helping someone.
Yeah, we talked about helping someone.
I talked a bit about that as well.
We talked about texting someone. You feel fondly about someone, just text them right then. Do something on your to-do list now if it takes less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. You'd mentioned having a conversation with a loved one as well. And
listening.
Yeah, and listening, moreover, as well. And don't pick that phone up.
Try to resist the phone urge. Correct your self-talk. Make it empowering. Be conscious of what you're talking about. And finally, we talked about doing some hypnosis to eliminate those limiting beliefs or help you believe that you can achieve something great in this world.
Nice. Now everybody's fantastic.
All right, Pat, it's the after show. Everybody's gone.
Okay.
We can say what we like.
Within reason.
So we usually say a strange observation it is a strange observation about America. Most Americans don't understand the United Kingdom.
I think to a certain extent, there's many Brits don't understand the United Kingdom.
It's pretty complicated.
It is.
But what we get a lot is, oh, you're from England. Like,
is that near London?
No, but it's true. Actually, it's true in our case because we are from England. But you could be Welsh or something. You could be from Britain.
Right.
It's complicated. Great Britain's complicated because we call ourselves Brits. We're British.
We have to break this down.
But we're the only ones within that area that call ourselves British. Anyway, Great Britain is the okay. So you've got two islands. There is the island called Ireland, and there's the island that's Britain.
Right.
And that the biggest one of the two, where you've got England, Scotland, and Wales, is called Great Britain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's Great Britain. It consists of England, which the capital is London. You've got Wales and Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not the
They're all actually different countries.
They're all different countries
within Great
Britain.
Yes.
But that's not the UK.
Right.
The UK is the United Kingdom. So that is the island of Great Britain with those three countries and Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Because Ireland is not all one country. The island of Ireland is Ireland in the south, and in the top corner there's a place called Northern Ireland, which is part of Britain, not part of Ireland.
No, part of the United Kingdom.
Sorry, it's part of the United Kingdom. So in Northern Ireland, they'll be using the British pound like we do in England, Scotland and Wales. Yeah. But in Southern Ireland, they'll be using the euro because they're part of Europe. They're part of Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
clear as mud.
That is clear as a stagnant pond. It's confusing, and I get it. I really do get it why it is confusing. But
you know how I remembered it, and I didn't know this when I was growing up either. You just say, "Oh, I'm from England," whatever. But it says it on the passport, on the UK passport. It's the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That's what it says on the passport.
Do you know? I've just thought of something even more confusing.
What?
When we play football. We are England as a football team. We are Wales as a football team, Scotland, and we're very fiercely Scottish, Welsh, English. Yeah. That's our football teams.
Right.
But when we're in the Olympics, we're Great Britain. So it's a mixture of all those countries, which is why you never see England in the Olympics as a football team or Scotland in the Olympics as a football team. We did a Great Britain team once in 2012 when London had the Olympics, and it ended up being the majority was English players with a couple of Scots, a couple of Welsh, and obviously those countries' fans didn't really get behind it because it was an England team. So that's confusing. So there's another element of confusion.
That's weird. That. Do you know what? Another thing that got me that I didn't understand until well into my 20s as well. Did you know the Union Jack, which is actually called the Union flag, it can be upside down? It's not.
My dad
it's not
told me
symmetric.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Union flag, yeah.
I didn't know that until later on in my life, that it could actually be upside down. And it's not very obvious, which is, I won't even try and explain it now, but it's without
To do with
actually
gaps
showing
and
it.
stuff.
Yeah, it's not symmetric.
Okay, so that's what Americans don't understand about Britain. What do Brits not understand about America?
The way it's set up, actually, the states
Yeah.
are all tiny little, almost like their own little countries within, it is in fact the United States of America. And they've all got different rules.
Yeah, they've all got their own laws.
Yeah.
For example, you can turn right on red, at a red traffic light, you can turn right in Washington, but there's other states you can't do that.
I haven't figured out which states they are, so I don't know how you
So you do it anyway. In fact, when you go to England or when you go to the UK or Britain, it's really frustrating. In that case, you want to turn left on red, but you can't, and you're just sat there and you're like, why am I just sitting here? There's no reason for this.
Do you know, I'll tell you a little secret. Sometimes,
do it
and this is sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes here, when there's literally, because we'll go out to workouts at stupid o'clock in the morning, and there's no cars. Sometimes I'll even turn left on red over here.
I think at certain times of the day it should be allowed. We're all adults, and we should be able to make that decision
You're
ourselves.
going to wait 5 minutes at a light when there's nobody there at 5 in the morning. Anyway,
Other rules, other laws in other states. You go to Oregon from here, you can't even put gas in your own car.
Yeah, then I keeps catching me out. You go across the border, across the river, and then you're in Oregon, and you're not allowed to put gas in your own car.
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange.
That would be strange to a British person coming here. So another thing Britons might not understand about America is that you can buy weed in a lot of places. In Washington, we've got weed shops everywhere here.
Yeah,
but then there's
that's
some
true.
states like you can't.
I don't even know which states there are now that don't have. It's not.
It's somewhat legal in most states, I think, but there's some states where it's illegal, like Wyoming, I think, Indiana, and Wisconsin, maybe.
I think it's still federally illegal, as in the United States, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Yet they have allowed the states to govern themselves on that. I think that's how it works. But I don't pay too much attention.
Regardless, it is strange for a British person to come here and have all these rules in different places. Liquor stores as well. Some places, I think New York, we're in New York, weren't we? And they had liquor stores.
Yeah.
Whereas all the liquor in this state is all in the supermarket.
supermarket.
We don't really have liquor stores, do we?
Yeah. Well, in England, do they still have off licenses in England still? Or is it all just in supermarket? I think it's all in supermarkets.
Yeah,
now.
the off license.
You used to have off licenses.
Yeah, we used to call it the off license.
Yeah, a liquor store is the off license.
Yeah. I don't know, liquor store sort of says what it is, doesn't it? The off license, you got to work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was always cages in the windows.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. There's some things that Brits don't...
Oh, I got one as well.
Go on.
This is me personally. I don't know if everybody has this observation when they first come to America. When I was a teenager, when I first came to America, and I was excited to come, and all I knew that for me, what America was, it was everything I'd seen on TV. It was Hollywood, it was Baywatch. I was a teenager, right? And I came to America, and you go to Santa Monica Beach, and they know all like they do on TV.
You didn't see Pamela Anderson then?
No. So that was a little bit, nobody looks like, I was expecting California girls to look a bit better. No, wasn't like that. But that was just me.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe so you'll never miss another episode. Also, check out our social media content for more ways to avoid being middle-aged and miserable.